me just practice once before we record. Funayurei.
Funayurei.
Funayurei. Nay.
Funayurei.
Oh, Funa. Okay.
All right, sick.
Welcome to Internet Killed the Video Store, the podcast. We are here with Funayurei, local Fort Wayne synth duo, talking about their new album, Not Forever But For Now. Welcome, guys.
Hello, thank you.
Hello.
You guys have been doing this for a couple years now. Your project before this, Sea Mountains, that was kind of like your pet project for a long time, right?
Yeah, that was just like a solo thing I started in college. And I played with a full band for a little while, and like as soon as that project ended is when Rob and I started Funayurei, so it worked out pretty well.
I think we had a song done, and then you did your last show with Sea Mountains.
Yeah.
Okay.
My old band played with his old band.
Oh, nice. What was
And
your
then
old
our
band?
Had a baby.
That's right. I was in a group called Blue Wave,
Blue
which
Wave.
is also very synthy.
Okay.
We did 3 albums. We were together from 2016 to 19. No, until 2020. It was, the lockdown is what really was the sort of death knell for that group.
So had you guys written and started recording this before the lockdown hit?
It was just before.
Yeah.
Loner was the first song we wrote for this record. And the vocals were recorded in March. I know exactly, it was in March. And then I think we got Sex Tape done, and that's when lockdown happened, and there was sort of a long period of inactivity.
It feels like with synth and electronic music, it's a little more conducive to collaborating in the conditions. Did you guys find that with file sharing, or was it still pretty hard to collaborate and write the way you guys had become accustomed to?
Well, the first album we did in 9 months, and every song we did, we kept. There were no scraps of any kind, whereas this time I felt like I really just had to get a bunch of just the garbage out of my system. And we've got a Google Drive account that we use, and we just send each other ideas. Sometimes she'll start a song, and I'll develop it from there. And in fact, a lot of my favorite songs have started that way.
And so when you're developing a song, are you thinking more instrumentally or vocally when you start?
For me, I always like keep track of any lyric ideas that I have, and if I don't have a song that really works with them, I just write them down and save them for when we do finish an instrumental that they work with. He normally will start the ideas and send me 30-45 second long little ideas, and then from there I can kind of pick and choose which ones that most resonate with me, and then I'll focus on that. So it's kind of both. I don't know. In some cases, I have developed almost full sets of lyrics without instrumentation behind it, but then it's way harder to write music around that. So it's easier to have at least a bass idea going, to have some kind of skeleton to add to.
How do you take it when he sends you music and you don't like it? Does that ever occur where you're just like, I don't like this?
I don't think that she's not told
It
me.
happened one time that I sent him a song that I started, actually finished, did the whole thing, and it just didn't work with our sound. It was just something that I just did. But I think we have a pretty good, honest relationship with each other, where if it's something that I'm not feeling, I can just tell him that, and same with him. So obviously I think I personally worry about hurting his feelings if I don't personally like something, but it hasn't really been a case where I straight up just don't like something.
Usually what happens if it's something I wrote, I usually dislike it before and just say hey, I want to scrap this one. I'm just not feeling it.
Oh, okay.
And that before he even starts anything on it, or she might have some lyrics, but I'm just I'm not feeling this one.
I think there were at least 1 or 2 cases where he started something and he was like, I don't even like this. But then I was like, well, I do. And we put lyrics over it, and then we ended up really liking it.
Yeah, it's always hard to tell somebody when you're in a band that, hey man, this kind of sucks, or I'm not feeling this at all. Or we were in a band together for 15 years, and there was a lot of shit I showed Ryan, and he just he would be like, yeah, we'll play that next time, and we never played it next time.
Well, it's especially because you guys were bandmates before friends, I take it. Or were you guys familiar with each other before you started playing?
We were friends before.
Oh,
We
okay.
weren't really that close. We went to lunch a lot, because we worked together.
Right.
But I think that making music together really strengthened our friendship.
Yeah.
And I don't would be as good of friends as we are now if it hadn't been for making music together.
I thought you had something.
No. That's awesome. That's wholesome. I like that.
So do you feel like this second record you guys have grown as a band? It feels like there's a lot more confidence and assurance in the songwriting process. Do you guys feel that when you're making things now together?
For sure. I think so, at least. Like he said, on our first album, there were none that we got rid of. And it was almost like a detriment to us. And I think also because of how quickly we recorded it, we weren't really thinking of like, at least I personally wasn't thinking of like, am I going to like this in 6 months? And the one advantage we had to really taking our time with this album is that every single track that we did put on the album, I feel so good and confident about. And there's almost nothing that I would go back and change. So I think we just got more comfortable with each other's styles. We were able to work together more confidently. And it was just a more cohesive project this time around.
How have you guys gone about getting your name out there? I know you guys were just on the radio earlier, but how do you guys go about putting yourself on platforms, playing shows? Do you guys plan on playing outside of Indiana?
We're actually really bad at putting ourselves out there.
Really?
This has been the most like well-received project I've ever done, but I certainly suck at, just putting it out there. And, playing shows outside of Indiana. I mean, we both have day jobs, and that would totally be, we would definitely do that. Obviously, right now, things are just still a little weird, but, with COVID and everything. But I would like to, gigging is like priority number one for me. I want to get this out there and just play as many shows as we can. And I'm already thinking about what we'll do next in the studio, but I think we're definitely in gig mode now.
Okay.
We completely neglect our Twitter. And like big news and show dates will go on Facebook. Instagram's where we're most active. I almost wish we had someone who would just do this for us.
There are a lot of bands that do that, even like DIY now. They have their own press or PR people that handle all this stuff just because it's so much to undertake. It's kind of nuts.
I just don't want to pay them.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. Well, I also noticed, so did you guys run into a snafu getting stuff onto Spotify and iTunes?
Not necessarily a snafu. It just, the distributor we went through is fine. But iTunes and Spotify have this sort of random manual review process. And it's like, hey, this might go through this process and take longer to actually go live. I've uploaded a lot of albums to iTunes and Spotify and all that. Every one of them has gone through that process.
Yeah.
So it just makes it really hard to set a release date. Now, if you're a record label, you have an account with iTunes and Apple Music and Spotify. They have accounts. They log in, they upload it, and it's live the next day. Us mere mortals don't have that ability.
Right. So. It's this weird kind of gatekeeping process, and it's like you have to go through a label, or they have all these third-party services where you pay them a fee to upload your music for you.
All things considered, it's still really cool the fact that
Right.
anyone in the world can buy. I remember CDs and everything, and I remember cassettes. And as far as I understand, there's just been so much music released in the last year and a half, or however long it's been now, and that has actually been a factor in the amount of time it takes to go live.
So, Mandy, you said something about stockpiling lyrics. Do you kind of have a stockpile of synth sounds that you're saving for next songs, or we build around an instrument, or just kind of pocket it? How do you go about building your songs?
Rob probably does. I stockpile the lyrics. He probably stockpiles the sounds.
Yeah.
So we already have a bunch of like unfinished ideas from Not Forever But For Now that we're like, let's just like save this for the next one.
There might be a couple salvageable ones from that.
Like I hear the drum clap in All To You, and I'm like, that's a great fucking snare. He was hanging on to that one. That was good.
That was another example, an abnormal source of inspiration. Miss You Much by Janet Jackson came on the radio, and that was produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And, if you like that kind of drum sound, those are your guys.
Definitely had that early 90s feel.
I wanted to do something that sounded like that, and the absolute key was finding that drum sound. Once I got that, the chord progression is something I wrote back with Blue Wave that was never used. It was just a scrap that I didn't hear, and I don't know if the other guys even heard it, but that chord progression came from something from like 2017. There's always a stockpile.
What are kind of your guys' biggest influences? Probably a broad question, but
For me, oh my God, I really it is a pretty wide assortment. I'm a huge 80s music fan, like Soft Cell, the Eurythmics. Also, like getting into later, like 90s type of stuff, like Cocteau Twins and things like that. But more recent stuff, I love Beach House. And then I also like a bunch of like R&B, like pop type of artists. So like Abra or Kali Uchis. Those are probably my biggest influences right now, at least.
Yeah, I know everyone says this, but my music taste is really just all over the place. I was just listening to Augustus Pablo before we did this, and it's like old school dub reggae.
Gotcha.
But I hope I don't die one day and someone just goes through my computer and my phone and looks at my music library.
What's something you hate?
Pretty much anything rock radio from the last 15 to 20 years. They call it butt rock, right?
Yeah. Ben's
I
familiar.
don't understand how a lot of
Oh my
going.
God, no.
Imagine Dragons, I'll immediately shut off the radio.
Okay, that's fine.
If you want to get me to talk about things I hate, I'm really good at that. And just the whole, I don't know what you would call it. They call it stomp, clap, hey.
Oh my God.
So, Lumineers. I'm also really tired of the whole Black Keys. This is more of a production style, but the whole Black Keys and White Stripes, just that it sounds like the entire mix was run through a fuzz pedal.
Yeah.
Just everything's really dirty and garagey, and it's cool if you're Jack White, but there's just a lot of that happening, and I don't know. I think it's just kind of played out. But says the guy who's doing stuff with sounds from 30, 40 years ago.
Well, like a big influence, obviously, in the whole synth world is movie soundtracks. And since we do a lot of movies, figured we'd ask you, do you have any big composers you like from movie scores, like John Carpenter or Tangerine Dream?
I like all those, but I don't know that they've ever influenced me. The opening track on our first album, Liminal, the song and album called Liminal, that was inspired by it's if you listen to it, it's pretty obvious, but it's like early 2000s French horror film called High Tension.
Oh yeah.
That really, the movie was like, it was okay. The ending was horrible. It ruined the whole thing. But the soundtrack, if you go back and listen, is really interesting. The guy, it's a French name, but I can't really pronounce. But that was a really interesting just soundtrack for a horror film.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Silent Hill fan, so I like just soundtracks that are different in the horror genre. Akira Yamaoka's an influence on me. I don't know that that's come through much, and actually it did. The track Sex Tape on the new album. If you've ever played Silent Hill 1, there's you start off like in this cafe, and there's just cool music playing, and I definitely took some cues from that for the track Sex Tape.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice, dude. You guys have any favorite local bands?
Oh, who did I just see?
I like
Burial Party.
Cloudmaker. Cloudmaker.
Yeah. Florets.
I guess I'm pretty out of touch with the local scene.
Yeah, I think I am too. I don't know any of those people.
It's changed a lot the last 2 years.
Any local artists you're sick of, you're just done with them.
This is turning negative all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
That's not a very grown-up question, is it?
No, come on. We'll skip that.
Oh my God, hold on.
Ben's dog's trying to break in here. Sorry. So the album feels really personal and emotional. Does that impact playing it live, or sometimes you're like, I just don't really want to sing that song tonight, or I don't want to go there?
Yes.
Mentally?
There's a couple songs from our first album that I just like flat out do not ever want to play again, pretty much just out of spite and being petty. But it is like really hard because like obviously when we're writing songs, when I'm writing lyrics, I'm not thinking about like, oh, people are gonna hear this. And then I like get up there and we're singing songs, I'm like, almost everyone knows exactly like who and what I'm talking about, and it's really awkward for me, especially when you like look out and it's a crowd of people just like standing there like with their arms crossed or like whatever, and I'm like, oh my God, they hate me. So that gets in my head pretty easy. But
have you ever had anyone confront you and be like, hey, is this song about so and so, or what's going on with that?
No, I try to keep it vague enough to where if it is a case like that, they'll never be able to know for sure.
You can just say that. It's like, well.
Yeah, and then there's in some cases, especially on this album, there's a couple that are extremely obvious. My ex's name is in one of the titles.
Okay.
But in this case, I think she's more like probably going around like there's a song about me on Spotify, you know.
The final stretch of the album is great. I love Autumn Leaves. That whole like final 4 tracks are phenomenal, and I'm a sucker for a good ending, so that definitely won me over. And it kind of gets more dark, sinister at the end. Is that kind of a preview of where you guys want to take your sound, or have you thought that far ahead?
I have.
Yeah.
It's always the end of the album.
I try not to overthink it because I want it to be sort of organic. And I don't think of a sound usually as a whole album, but I like that, especially compared to our first album. This album has a lot more variety in the tracks, and I don't want to abandon the '80s vibes because we are pretty good at that. I do say so myself. But branching out here and there, I'd actually like to do, referencing Silent Hill again or Portishead. I think it'd be cool to just sneak in kind of a trip hop type track. And I've been really getting into sort of '80s industrial, so Front 242, Skinny Puppy, Frontline Assembly, stuff like that. Just sort of that dirty, hard hitting, but like '80s industrial.
Kind of got
pre
that.
Trent Reznor, or around that time. So
Right. The more aggressive Depeche Mode.
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a break beat on that last track that really made me smile. I like that.
Speaking of Depeche Mode, there's definitely a Depeche Mode influence in that song. So
Good.
that's probably my number 2 favorite band. If it changes from time to time, but number 2 is pretty much always Depeche Mode. So
So who's number 1?
The Cure.
Have you gotten to see either of them live?
Depeche Mode, I've seen them perform live, and I've met Martin Gore on 2 or 3 occasions.
Oh, wow.
Super. The Cure, I need to, and I'm realizing now that they are much nearer the end than the beginning. And if they tour again, it's going to be last time. So wherever they play, we're going to swipe the credit card and make it happen.
Did you hear the Churches song that Robert Smith was on?
Yeah.
I like that a
Yeah,
lot.
totally. And the Gorillaz one, Damon Albarn from Gorillaz, huge influence on me.
Yeah.
And seeing them too, and then they played live. They had Peter Hook from New Order. It's just mind blowing seeing them all on stage.
Oh yeah. Do you listen to your own music, or once you're done with it, you kind of want to move on? Unless you,
Oh yeah.
you do.
What's
Okay.
the point if you don't listen to it? That's how I feel. I've always wanted to make the type of music that I would want to listen to,
Right.
and I'm also just so proud of everything that we've written, especially this album. So I love to listen to my own music.
I don't know where that stigma comes from, but yeah, if you're listening to your own
I don't
stuff,
either.
people.
It's like, what's the point of making it then? It's like, I understand for maybe actors that don't watch their own movies, but I don't, why else are you making music? I guess I don't know. And if you're not listening to your own music, how are you ever supposed to improve too? You can't, sit there and be like, oh, I could do this better or that better or whatever. But how are you going to make those changes if you don't even know what you're looking for?
So what's your ideal concert experience for people going to your shows?
I obviously never expect any kind of reaction from people because we don't make music for other people. It's the point is to just make it, but anytime.
That's why we're bad at promoting it.
Yeah. But anytime somebody just either resonates or can relate to it, I always think that that's really, really cool.
Feels like there's a give and take relationship where a lot of artists are making it for their own satisfaction and their own creative drive. Do you have anything that weighs in from exterior? Like, you're getting a lot of good reception, you said, to this project. Does that weigh into what you do next, or it's just full steam ahead?
I think we just kind of go on our own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, I just don't care. You can't make everyone happy. I think you just,
Yeah.
I think it's really detrimental to think that way. I know some people who, not necessarily in music, but, and just art in general, who really overthink how their art is seen by others to the point where it inhibits them from actually doing it in the first place. So I think focusing on that can be your downfall sometimes.
Yeah.
Now live, it's totally different. If they're just a bunch of zombies out there, it is hard to. In fact, I've been saying I think we need to put some effort into being a little bit more active on stage, which is hard when you're an electronic group. But we have to bring the heat. We're the entertainers, and ideally, they will reciprocate. And once that happens, it's there's not a better feeling.
Do you guys practice stage banner, or that's all just...
I like just don't like talking in between songs. 'Cause
Yeah.
sometimes I think it just like kind of takes away from the experience of it. And when I used to play with a band that had like a drummer and everything, they would always yell at me like, "No, I need a 30-second break." And I'm like, "Okay, well, what am I supposed to talk about?" Besides like,
What do you
"Hey
wanna talk about?"
guys." I'm also just not good at stage banter. I think the last time I really tried, I just kept talking about how I really needed to pee. And people were like, "Well, then just go. I'm like, "I can't." Like I'm in the middle of something here. Like,
Mid-song.
yeah.
So I also have to ask, because you're a Kanye fan, at least in the past, right? What did you think of Donda?
I really pretty much stopped listening to him when he put out the Jesus is God album, and then he just started doing a bunch of stuff where it's like, man, I can't defend any of this anymore.
Yeah, no, for
And
sure.
then with the, like listening party and bringing out like Marilyn Manson and
Yeah.
debate and everything, I'm like, ugh. So I really just didn't give it much of a listen. I think I listened to like 3 songs off of it, and I was like, okay, I get it, and then just like turned it off. Like I really just, it's just not there for me anymore. I've seen him perform live, and I still think he's a really talented performer and producer. I don't know, it's just not something I go out of my way to listen to anymore.
Yeah.
So our Kanye cover is no longer in the set.
Oh no, that's definitely still in the set.
I mean, it feels more and more there's that separating art from the artist.
Yeah, it's hard to separate art from artist when everything is so publicized as well, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, I wonder what Prince's Twitter would have been like, or like, you don't even know about some of these people.
Yeah.
He would have been Snapchatting out some crazy shit, I'm sure.
Oh my god. For sure.
I think Prince would just sort of bitch about the music industry because he was really critical of it, and I think that's probably what he would tweet about most is just, this law is stupid, and this
Right.
that kind of thing.
It's kind of odd the way that they've been trickling everything out of the vault, where I think he's had like 2 or 3 posthumous albums now of unreleased material, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of posthumous albums because, like, for me personally, if music that I did not personally put out myself was released after I died without me being able to, give it the final okay, I would be pissed. And a lot of times it just really seems like a money grabbing scheme from either the label or sometimes even families who were not really supportive when they were alive, but now they're like, oh, here's an opportunity to, get some more money out of it. And also, like, the timing of it can be just really disrespectful, in my opinion, when it just comes out like, just like a month after they've died. And it's, a lot of it's just like edited together to just make it work. And it's like, there's a reason why this wasn't released.
Yeah, especially somebody a perfectionist like Prince, or even like we were talking Kanye. I'm sure he's got so many unreleased albums.
Yeah.
Just
I
sitting
bet Prince are actually good.
Right. All right. Well, I think that about does it. Unless there's anything else you guys want to plug or tell us about. No,
I don't think so.
All right.
All right, thank you guys.
Well, I appreciate it, guys.
All right, thanks so much for
Thank you
having
for
us.
having us.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Yep. Got it?
That's you, my friend.
Oh, me?
You got it in the Skype. I just think that was me. Do you want to keep going now?
Yeah, I guess we can.
So, went well. That was our first interview
It was.
with anybody via Zoom or anything. We'll see how it sounds later.
Are you excited?
I am excited. I feel like you got mad at me when I asked that one question.
Well, yeah, you're kind of like, hey, you want to shit on anyone local that...
It's a fucking joke. Sorry.
You didn't sound like a joke.
Oh my! I mean, we were asking them. If you're gonna shit on Imagine Dragons,
Okay.
you're not gonna just because they don't live in your zip code makes it okay.
You just took it personally. You fucking
Well, of
Imagine
course.
Dragons fan.
I know.
So did you listen to any new music this week?
My phone's always dead after work, and that's when I listen to music. I don't listen to it in the morning because I'm too busy, like, doing stupid shit on my phone when I first wake up and
You're going to have to
eating
buckle
my
down.
breakfast. I do buckle down.
This is a music podcast.
Oh,
You got to listen to music. That's.
I see what you're saying now. Yeah,
I don't mean your breakfast routine. I mean, if we're going to record this, we got to have... Did you listen to the new Turnstile?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I heard half their album through their ads on my Instagram.
Yeah, it was
So-
kind of wild. It's a little Refused-ish, where they're
That's
doing a
what you
lot of
said.
samples, and
I haven't listened to enough Refused to even. So, any movie recommendations?
we're going right to the end.
We already been on for like.
Well, I did want to ask you one thing, because
Okay.
last time You made fun of me because I said Spider-Man 2 was the best Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And I said you need to come up with your top 5 Marvel movies. Did you come up with anything?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5. Unless you want to start at 1 for some reason. I don't.
Let me bring them up.
I even sent you a link. Did you even... Here we go. Here's a list of all the Marvel movies there's ever been.
Oh my god.
1944, Captain America was the first.
Probably not that one.
Howard the Duck, Blade, X-Men. Take a minute. We'll cut this out.
The Avengers in descending order.
That's your top 5?
Yes. I like them all more than any standalone superhero movie.
But you're already wrong. The second Avengers was worse than the first one. Age of Ultron, with Ultron and the Hulkbuster.
You didn't like Ultron?
Not better than the
That's
first
when
one.
Jarvis is born, though. I thought Ultron was a really cool villain.
He was a cool villain, but the movie was kind of sleepy.
Really? I liked it.
Wait, there's not even 5 Avengers movies. I just realized. You gotta throw something else in there.
All right, so...
You're just gonna steal off my list. I see you staring. Nope.
It's definitely not Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 is number 1.
I'm going to do Iron Man, Logan, Black Panther, Infinity War, and Endgame. I like that. I just love there's so much epicness involved in the Avengers, like the whole series coming to an end. It's hard to do that with a standalone movie. I think Black Panther is a better standalone movie, given the context and everything the Marvel Universe was through, like in that Avengers time period. It's just so epic to me. I love it.
I mean, I tried to make a list of just comic book movies, and my top 10 doesn't have a Marvel movie in it. I'm going every Batman before any Marvel.
No shit. Every Batman?
Well, not every. I'll give you
Val
Batman and
Kilmer
Robin.
fucking
Yeah.
sucked.
He still wasn't as bad as George Clooney. George Clooney
I've never seen that one.
was the worst. He didn't kill.
I'm
good.
excited for Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
I'm really excited. I think he's gonna be good.
it looks good. I saw that trailer with
What?
the fucking Nirvana. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did. Dude, yes, that remix of
That was really good.
I really like the mix they did on that too. It
Yeah.
was really cool.
I saw a really terrible version of that. I don't remember what movie it was, but it was One is the Loneliest Number, and they tried to make it really slow and sad, and it was terrible. That's been overdone to death. Like the Say My Name with Candyman.
Did you like that?
It was really good until the ending. The ending was just so heavy-handed, it ruined it for me. Like the photography, the music, it was all there. I was so ready for it, and then the ending is just like,
What? The ending
Yeah.
fucked it for you?
yeah.
All right, what else we got on there?
Uh,
You gonna ask me about Donda?
did you listen to it?
Nope.
It's yeah. There's no need. I mean, are you going to?
I want to.
Are you interested?
I am, but man, is it gospel?
It's not as gospel as the one before this, but he does censor all the features when they swear.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow, man.
And the first 50 seconds of the record is somebody just saying Donda over and over again. It feels like
What did you
like,
think?
It
Because
feels like you stumbled across like somebody's notebook. Like it's not finished. Like it's just a sketch pad of unfinished ideas.
that's kind of cool though, in a sense, because
Kind of. I
his
mean,
other shit's been so overdone in the past.
Yeah, but I don't know. For all the hype he had around this, like I thought there was going to be something more to it. Like,
He hypes up everything he does though.
right, he does.
Life of Pablo, Jesus.
But it doesn't feel like you even hear from Kanye until like 14 tracks in.
Oh yeah.
It's a 27-track album, by the way. I don't know if
Oh
you're
my
aware of
god.
that.
I didn't know that.
Hour and 48 minutes.
Okay, wow.
And
Yeah, it's a lot.
well, and the last 4 songs are different versions of other songs on the record.
Wait, say that one more time. Did I hear you right?
Yeah, the last 4 songs on the album are different versions of songs that were previously in the album. It's just like he got different people to feature on it.
That's
So-
really silly. You need to, as an artist and as a producer, and whoever was producing, you need to figure out what fucking version you want. I get that you probably like them both for separate reasons, but I feel like it's your responsibility to figure out what works most in this album.
It's just like he's reaching out in every direction. Like, I want to be a fucking politician. I want to be a fashion designer. I want to have Jay-Z and DaBaby and all these people on the same song, even though there's not room. We'll just release the same song twice. It's just like, focus. You got to sit down, man.
Dude, yeah, he does. But I think the thing is, he wants all those things. Like,
He does. I mean,
I think he's
can't
manic.
tell him nothing.
There's a negative connotation attached to it, but I don't think of it in that way. I think he's just like, he's very high. He's like, has these very high highs, and he wants to conquer the world.
He's a workaholic. I mean,
Yep.
that was the whole Through the Wire song on his demo where he flipped his car, staying up all night, trying to record his first record, and recorded the last verses with a fucking wire through his jaw.
Oh my God.
And people say it now. Like before he got divorced, they'd see him out to dinner with Kim, and he'd be literally just falling asleep at the dinner table.
Oh, no shit.
He records a song a day. Like, yeah.
You see, she was there.
I think I heard something about that because that was part of the reason he went back and re-recorded stuff and delayed it. I mean, it was supposed to come out. The first ad was during the NBA Finals, and it just came out.
Yeah.
Supposedly, there was some weird thing where Drake was going to try and scoop in and release his album the same day because they're still pissed at each other. Did you hear anything about that?
I had no idea they were even pissed at each other.
Yeah.
That's lame as shit.
Yeah.
Two of the most successful guys in the game are pissed at each other.
Apparently, a bunch of Drake fans went and vandalized Kanye's childhood home in Chicago.
Oh my god.
It's real.
That's so stupid.
It's worse than Vin Diesel. And
That's so strange. Like,
fucking
these
The
guys
Rock.
are never going to give a shit about you, and you're going to go induce violence on their behalf.
It's odd. I mean, it really is like cult-like. The people that, I mean, can you imagine anyone else
It's like the Trumpers.
selling out a fucking football arena to play you an album that hasn't been released yet?
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
That's wild.
That's called blindly following.
And it's the third time he's done it.
Like, if I don't know what somebody's going to release, then I just go. I mean, I'd probably do that with one of my favorite bands.
He's been
Not at this
hours
point.
late. So do you got any recommendations this week?
Dude, I just watched Godless. It's super old. I feel like all my recommendations are going to be shit that's been out for a while.
Mine's old this week too, so
That's fine.
I can't say anything. Is it a movie or a TV show? I've never heard
TV
of this.
show. This guy turns on his old West gang crew, tries to be a better person. These guys are pretty much little pieces of shit. It's based on a true story.
Okay.
And I just watched War Dogs for the first time with Jonah Hill and that dude from Whiplash.
Oh yeah.
I actually really liked it. That's based on a
Did
true
you?
story too.
I like Miles Teller. He's really good.
Yes, he's super fucking good. I feel like he's kind of fell off though.
He's in the new Top Gun movie, but you're not gonna see it till next May.
Damn. Is he Maverick?
I think he's his son, maybe. I don't know. I
Oh,
just watched
so-
I just watched Top Gun for the first time like 2 months ago. I'd never
What do
seen
you think?
it. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's Tom Cruise's best.
What is Tom Cruise's best?
Magnolia or Born on the 4th of July. Those are probably my two favorites. I like the Mission Impossibles too. Are you into those?
They're all right.
I feel like the spy movies are also similar. Like everybody
Yeah.
just has their flavor. Like you're either Jason Bourne or James Bond or Mission Impossible.
What's that one he does? He damn near does two. But there's one he does.
Oh, the Jack Reacher.
What?
Jack Reacher.
No, not that one. I'm talking about the one where like aliens invade and he relives the same day every day.
Oh yeah, Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow.
That one was really good.
That was sick. And then he did one
Yeah.
a long time ago where they could see the fucking future. Colin Farrell was in it. They had these like
Oh, Minority Report.
yes, Minority Report, dude.
That one's really good too.
I love that one.
You have any music recommendations or?
The soundtracks, those TV shows are pretty decent.
Yeah. My recommendation is not Donda. It is Navy's Reprise by Navy Blue. It is probably my front runner for hip hop album of the year. I finally got around to it. It released earlier this year in like May. Just hit the streaming services I think a couple weeks ago, so I finally got to hear that. And then movie wise, I finally watched Snowpiercer on Netflix.
The TV show or the movie?
The movie. I've not seen the
movie
TV
has
show.
really good reviews.
The movie's good. Did you see Parasite?
No, and I want to really bad. I'm gonna sound like a piece of shit.
Subtitles
yeah.
get you?
Yeah.
Lesson
They
here. Snowpiercer, no subtitles.
Why would it?
Because it's the same director as Parasite.
Yeah, but
From
Captain America's in it, so I would assume there would have to be.
That is true. Captain America is in it. There's a lot of famous people. Octavia
Chris
Spencer's
Pratt's in
in
it, isn't he?
No. I don't think
Are you
Chris
sure?
Pratt's in it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Chris Pratt's in it.
No. Captain America, Chris Evans is in it.
Oh, okay.
Where's he from? He's from South Korea, the director. So Parasite, yeah, was the first foreign film to win Best Picture. But Snowpiercer, he did 7 years previously. And yeah, it's about... Do you know what it's about?
The Train. I've seen episodes of the TV show.
Oh, have you? Okay.
They did the TV show on TNT.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. They have.
So what's the TV show about? Is it before? Is it on the Snowpiercer?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think it's just drawn out, man. They got really good actors on that.
It's one of those shows I see advertised like crazy during the NBA.
Yep.
Used to
that's
be
how I heard
Animal
about it.
Kingdom.
Yeah, Animal Kingdom was huge. I
Oh.
started watching that because of it, and it's all right. It's like SoCal Sopranos.
Yeah. But yeah, Snowpiercer's really good. It's kind of a class warfare story where
Yep.
all the poor people have to stay on the back of the train, and Chris Evans leads a revolt to try and get up to the front of the train. And it's really good. Action movie. It's kind of got the same political, social commentary that Parasite does, but it's a little more of an action movie than, I guess Parasite was kind of like a pseudo horror movie, almost like a Jordan Peele horror movie. But yeah, Snowpiercer's awesome. It's on Netflix, streaming now. Navy's Reprise is on Spotify and iTunes, streaming now.
I have a suggestion then.
What is it?
All right, so, oh my God. I got to figure out the name real quick. Oh, The Platform? Yeah, it's called The Platform.
Okay.
And so basically this one guy goes and volunteers to be part of like the experiment to go on this platform. It's actually like a giant fucking prison, but it goes down like, dude, I think it's like over 200 floors. Nobody knows how far down it goes because nobody's lived to say like the last floor. Yeah. And what happens is there's like these chefs and they make this like gourmet fucking huge platter and they start sending it down the middle. So it's these platforms and it goes down over 200 levels. There's a hole in the middle for this big platter to come down of food. And everyone has a minute to eat it. But the top like 10 floors always eat way more than they need to survive. They just fucking shove their gullets full and like piss on the people below them and shit. And the people below, like if you're on like the 30th floor, like you're in luck. You just don't have the good shit, but you still have enough to eat. And by the time it gets to like the 100th floor, like nobody ever has any food. And so this one guy goes in there and he's like, why don't we just all like eat what we need? And they're like, are you fucking kidding me? That's not how it works. Like, it's like the top 10% are always taking way more than they need, and the bottom of the platform never has anything. So it's, I don't know if you get it, but it's kind of a metaphor.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I like that.
It's super good.
It's the platform?
Yeah.
What's that on?
Netflix.
Netflix?
Yeah.
Right on. All right. So you got, what was the other one? I already forgot. Did you forget too?
Yeah. Let's go back to it and listen.
All right.
Patriot. Patriot's good.
Yeah, Patriot. We'll get to that. We'll talk about it next episode.
Okay.
All right. Peace.
Peace.